Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Garrison. I want to welcome you to this session of Humanity Rising as we begin a two-day program on the discovery of Eros and the importance of connecting with Eros in our lives. We're convening this program very intentionally during this week, having spent several weeks, as you all know, first on strategies of resistance against the Trump regime, then the whole question of forgiveness in a time of duress. And this week, we've been looking at various techniques, various orientations of mind and soul that enable us to develop within ourselves the kind of inner equilibrium, inner coherence that is necessary to compensate for an external equilibrium that is spinning faster and faster out of control. And this is physics that if you don't balance the inner with the outer in a compensatory way, the chaos rules, not the coherence. So the cultivation of coherence within, as our world gets crazier and crazier and more out of control, till most of us have reached the point where we don't even know what's going on anymore. We don't even know how to connect the dots. Could not be more important. Oftentimes on Humanity Rising, we've investigated and discussed various techniques. There have been breathing techniques, there have been yoga techniques, there have been psychotherapy techniques, there have been trauma reduction techniques, all of which are crucially important. Today, we want to go to what many seers and philosophers have called the bedrock. And that is the cultivation of Eros. And I want to make two foundational points as we enter into this domain. Number one, drawing from Sigmund Freud, who in his last works, particularly in his last one, Civilization and Its Discontents, made the assertion that his conclusion after studying the human psyche for decades, the one who broke open the whole field of psychiatry and psychology, that was Sigmund Freud. He got a lot of things wrong. He got a lot of things right. And what he said was that his conclusion was that in the end, there's only two forces in the human soul and in the cosmos and in life itself. It's what he called Thanatos, the death instinct that everything that lives ultimately dies, apparently without exception. Even galaxies and super galaxies rise and they fall. And then he says there's this psychic cosmic force of Eros that in the midst of the living and dying, the very act of dying is an erotic experience that gives rise to more life. So he said, if we can just understand that and attune to the dying and the living and the generativity and that which is decaying, that is what gives us the kind of equilibrium internally to act in mature, ethical ways. The second point I want to make is to draw from Plato, the great Greek philosopher, who is considered by some the seminal mind of Western civilization. In the aftermath of whom, as the philosopher Alfred North Whitehead said, everything is just a footnote. Plato said that what unites the living and the dead is love. Love is that intelligence which binds all things together into a seamless whole. And that's why life serves death and death serves life. And then when he was pondering what is love, what is this intelligence that binds all things together? He says, in the end, the foundation of even love itself, and the reason why love ultimately serves beauty, is Eros. And in his masterwork, the Symposium, which is a contemplation on love, the word that Plato and Socrates, who Plato recounts at this dinner party, talking about love, the word that Socrates uses for love is Eros. And he says, if you really think about it and you really contemplate it, and he learned everything that he knew, said Socrates, from an old crone. And she taught him that there was a ladder of love. And that's why love is beneath everything that is and above everything that is. Because there's a ladder to love. And the beginning, the core of that ladder is the generative impulse of life, which is Eros. It resides at the base of the spine. You can bring it up as the ancient Indian mystics did, giving rise to Kundalini and Tantra and all these different aspects. And the great irony of our civilization, and one of the reasons why we're in such difficulties, such that we're about ready to blow ourselves up, literally, is because of the repression of the erotic. You can test it out. Anything kind of sexual, anything erotic, makes us a little uncomfortable because of the conditioning of the civilizational structures who understand that that's the most powerful force in the world. So it has to be controlled. So over the next 2 days, we're going to ponder the erotic. We're going to ponder the generativity of Eros that lies all around us in our traumas, in our confusions, in the life process itself, which ignored besets us, but which acknowledged empowers us to heal, to transform, and to embrace all the polarities of life with love. So thank you, everyone, for joining us here on Humanity Rising as we traverse as many aspects of the human condition and cosmic reality as we possibly can